most thought-provoking hour of the day, dropping jewels and nuggets for the next 60 minutes. For us, by us. You're listening to the Hold Your Point podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wherever we catching you right now, whether it be your bedroom, your living room, heck, you might be on the boat sailing somewhere. Welcome to the Hold Your Point podcast, man, where we talk about uh, worldly news through a Christian millennial lens. My bad, I'm messed the intro up, man. Well, we got the usuals with us. We got DTH holding it down with the Bob Marley.
You already know what's going on, y'all. Good to see you.
Man, we got Mike. What's happening?
Popping, bro.
Yeah. We got Fortunato.
What's going on, fellas, man? Ready to tap in?
Levi, what's happening?
Yo, y'all already know what's up. What's up? Like and
Man,
subscribe.
yes, sir. Hey, man, we got a special guest with us, man. We got Danny. I don't, it looks like we just gonna call you Danny. Man, so blessed to have you on the podcast, man. I ran across you on TikTok. Loved your videos, man. But how you been, man? How's life treating you, though?
I've been pretty good. Just doing my thing, working. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. But man, let me ask you, man, before we dive into this, man. Like, if someone asks you, like, who is Danny? Like, how do you explain yourself? How do you tell somebody, like, if they ask you, like, what you do, like, who's Danny?
Yeah, I've never been asked that question, but I'm really someone that. So the way that I grew up in a Christian household, my whole life. But me personally, you know, just growing up, I had a lot of difficulties. So I really didn't like that God stuff. The Christian stuff. That because I felt like it was just all forced onto me. Because when you're younger, you're going to a Christian household, they try to push things onto you.
Facts.
So I didn't like
Yeah.
that. I didn't appreciate that either.
Yeah.
But eventually, having a rough life kind of made me view others' lives in a different way as well. So, I'm just someone that likes to help other people, help the people around me, and that's it. That's me. I just like to help everyone around me, and and that's just what I do. That's just who I am.
That's
No,
what's
no.
up.
Yeah, no, man. That's awesome, man. Because, well, do you still kind of practice your beliefs now? Like, how did you grow up? What religion did you follow?
Christianity.
Christianity.
Actually,
Okay.
my grandpa's a pastor, and since I was 14, I've been living with my grandpa since I was 14. I've had, so I'll stay with him here and there too. So I'll stay over at his house. He's a pastor. He has his own church too, and I go to church every Sunday. I actually
Nice.
do the photography, the photo sessions at the church. So
Nice.
I really practice my Christianity on a daily basis.
Yeah. Nice,
So,
man.
Danny, I seen you got a trademark for Danny Trades. It looks like you got going, and I see that you're a day trader, right? Is that the official
Correct.
term? All right. So you're gonna
Correct.
educate me a little bit, man. So just tell us a little bit about how you got started. Just like how you got drawn to the stock market and kind of like getting into that world a little bit.
Oh man, it's a lot, but I'll explain. So check this out. It was back then. I was still in high school. And just since I was growing up, I didn't like school. I didn't like any of that stuff. My parents, my dad comes from he was born in San Diego. So, he grew up with no mom. He grew up with in a different, just a hard life in the like gang members around gang members and people like that. So his way, he became wealthy. He grew his own business, all this, but he would never do like handouts. He would never give me money, nothing like that. He said, you have to work for your own things. You have to work for your own things. So for me, you know, he was kind of rough on me. My family was always Christian, but we had those rough times, and especially with me, I guess I'm the middle child out of my two brothers. I have an older brother; he's married, he has kids, and I have a younger brother. So it was always hard. But eventually, just growing up, high school, I got kicked out about. I got kicked out of the whole district actually when I was in high school. You
Wow.
know, so
Nice. Yeah, you want you.
eventually,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I got kicked out of the whole district. No school wanted me. I got kicked out of. I didn't graduate eighth grade. I didn't promote eighth grade. I didn't promote eighth grade.
Wow.
Got kicked out of every single public school in the district. My parents sent me over to a Christian school, and I got kicked out. I got suspended the first week I was there. Second week I got suspended again.
Man, man, you
Third
beating
time
your
I got
record, man.
yeah, I got expelled. And my parents took me to Mexico. They dropped me off in Mexico for about 3 months in it was a rehab center. I was I was never I never did drugs or any of that. Just to them it was more like behavior problems. But I was dropped off in a rehab center. I was about 15 years old. Um, they dropped me off in Mexico, Ensenada. Right there, I stayed there for about 3 months. No phone, no nothing. Right, every week they had a pastor come in, pray for us. They would talk about where your life could lead to if you make the wrong mistakes, wrong moves. But personally, I felt like I was just misunderstood. That's it. And
Facts. Yeah.
yeah, growing up, I was in this place, so I was the youngest one there. There was just a bunch of older guys around 30 and up. The oldest guy there was about 50, 58. But these guys that I was in this institution with, they were mentally ill. The drugs, crack cocaine, meth, they were messed up, man. They lost track of time. Their families didn't want them no more.
Wow.
Fights every day, people killing themselves, um, people just doing dumb stuff, and it was from all over the world. You had Chicago, people from Chicago, Mexico, Sinaloa, everywhere, right? So it was for me at a young age, seeing those people where they ended up was kind of it impacted my life, right? Because I was like, geez, I do not want to end up like that. I mean, I was on that track, but still, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be around these people, Personally, when I was scared, it freaked me out. 3 months passed. I saw my parents again, and after seeing my parents again, that's when everything kind of changed. I felt some resentment towards them, resentment towards my parents, resentment towards everyone. Like, how are you gonna drop me off in this place? I
That's
didn't
real.
want to be here. So I got, in fact, in that place, I got baptized by some pastor, but it was all just it was an act. I didn't want to get baptized. I only got baptized because I wanted to leave that place. I wanted my parents to think I'm changing. You know, and
Yeah.
I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
So I got baptized and I did all that. And eventually, my parents talked to the school. The school, they let me back into the school. They said under one condition, your son has to play football and he has to stay in sports. And I said, all right, I'll do that. You know what I mean? That sounds fair. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the only school that's gonna allow me back. They're a private school, so they make their own rules. So I ended up going back to that school. Everything started changing. Um, Eventually, I barely graduated high school. In fact, and it's not because I'm not smart. I'm really smart. It's just that I didn't like doing my homework. I didn't like doing my assignments that the teachers had us do. I didn't like any of that stuff. But when I got out of high school, I was working just regular jobs, 9 through 5s, golf course, McDonald's, um, just different kind of jobs. And eventually, my dad offered me a position. He's an insurance broker, so he does insurance like Medicare. So I
Nice.
started doing that. I was an insurance agent for a long for maybe a year or two, and
Nice.
I liked it. It was cool. I was able to talk to a lot of seniors, people that are 65 and up, and it was something I like, and I was really good at it. And he wanted me to stay, but in the back of my head, it wasn't something that I wanted to do long term wise, right? I wanted to build my own thing. I wanted to do my own thing, And I think a lot of the reason why I wanted to do my own thing, a lot of people don't know this, was resentment from when I was younger. I felt like a lot of people didn't believe in me. I feel like a lot of people kind of look down on me like this kid's gonna be a loser. I felt like, that's just that I had that victim mentality, right? And
Hmm.
we shouldn't have, but I had that mentality there. So eventually, I ran into. I actually went to school with. our school was ranked number one in the district, Rancho Christian. So I was in school with the Mobley brothers and this guy named Bryson. So
Tiller,
when I graduated, uh, Bryson,
Nah.
Bryson Tiller.
nah,
Nah, that one.
nah,
Okay, okay.
nah, his name B Money.
Mm-mm-mm.
So he's the one that introduced me to options trading. So I
Mm,
ran across his Instagram. I saw him making about posting gains about $30,000 in a day. He posted $40,000 in a day, uh, and he just kept posting these big gains. So I got interested. I was like, oh wow, how do you do that? So I hit him up and I started asking him a bunch of questions. Here's the thing that no one told me though, that you were gonna take big losses.
One or
I've
more
taken big
devices are
losses. I'll
available.
talk
You
about
might want to try setting
the
them.
first time that I made money, kind of the things that happened when I first made money, right? But I saw those gains and I got into it. I started studying day and night, but that's just kind of how I got into it, right?
yeah.
Just kind of, um, yeah, just that.
But let me ask you this question real quick, Danny. Because like you, I mean, I didn't get kicked out like that, but I did get suspended in school, and like I had to like not until I got older, I was like, man, I'm not like a bad dude or whatever, but like, why did I always used to get referrals? I got, I remember it was one school year, I literally got like 10 Fs it was bad. It was bad, but it was just like I
Glory to
literally
God.
just yeah, hey, Danny, the guy you looking at right now came a long way, but I
That means
literally had to
fantastic.
I literally had to like ask myself like why was I going through this? And it was simply like I didn't like being told what to do. It was nothing more, nothing less.
Right.
Do you think that is the same for you? What propelled you to perhaps be a day trader, be your own man, be an entrepreneur?
Yes, that's exactly. I also didn't like being told what to do. In fact, all my jobs, when my managers and bosses told me what to do, or not even them, but just the people that were kind of above me, never liked it because they were rude to me. They treated me wrong, right? They didn't treat me with respect. They made me feel like I was less than them, and I was like,
Yeah,
I'm getting paid 15, $13 an hour, to get treated bad, something I don't even like, right? So that was a lot of it too. It came from a lot of there as well.
exactly.
That's what's up. Hey, let me jump in there real quick, Danny. Nice to meet you, bro. Yeah, you
Nice
you
to meet
you went from Mexico when you were younger. Now you going to Mexico on a boat. Now that's what's up.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, life is good. Yeah, and man, through your Christian walk and you being uh, who you are now, how can you say that God has really helped you as a day trader? Because in this industry, man,
Mm,
you need God. Like straight up,
yeah.
talking to a fellow trader myself. But like, how do you really use God as you need God in everything. But how has God helped you as a day trader?
A lot. Actually, I don't think I've ever actually spoken about this story, right? So,
That's what we here
it
for,
was
man.
back.
Yeah,
We
Exclusives,
we
dig
here
boy.
for
deep, man.
We keep
We
dropping
dig
them.
deep.
That's what we
Yeah,
do.
I'm
Pause,
excited. I'm
pause, pause.
excited.
Yeah.
So check this out. It was about, I think this was 2 years ago, December. Um, about 2 years ago, I had made my first $100,000 in the stock market. I wasn't doing Traders Evolve. I was just trading, right? And I cut off social. I deleted all my social media platforms, Instagram, everything. I didn't have any. I didn't want to talk to anybody. In fact, I broke up with my girlfriend the first time I made money. The first time I made my 100K.
Ah, upgrade.
yeah,
Is
I
that the
pushed her
secret?
to the side. I pushed
Let me stop.
I pushed family to the side. I pushed everybody to the side. I didn't want to talk to nobody.
yeah.
I didn't even want to tell anybody. I didn't want to share. A lot of greed. I knew people were gonna be like, "How'd you do it? How'd you do this?" And I just didn't want anyone finding out. Even though I know some of my family members, they own businesses and this and that, but still, this is to me this was better than business because what other job are you gonna make 100K in a month? It's not like something you're gonna be making 100K every month, but at least in 1 month you hit 100K. You know what I mean? So for
Hmm.
me, I
Yeah.
had that thought like, ooh, and is this
It's
is
possible.
this censored? Can I talk about some things here?
Go
Go
for it,
ahead, man.
man.
Go
I
ahead,
mean,
man.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, I'll try to keep it as clean as I can, but um,
just keep it
it
PG
all
if you
started.
can.
Yeah. It was back in my first 100K. I broke up with my girlfriend, and I remember when I was 18. Or how old was I? I was actually younger than 18 at this time, but I had picked up a friend from like a club, and military. I was never into any of that stuff. I didn't like that stuff, but that thought came in my head, right? Because the devil, I feel like when you're a chosen one from God, right, the
Mm,
devil's always going to be there trying to snatch on you, right, and destroy
100%.
you, right?
Talk
When
about
you're a
it.
chosen one and you have a purpose for God, the devil's always going to try and be there trying to grab you, and he's always, and the closer you get to God, I feel the more he attacks. And it was like that for me all the time, right? So I always had that thought in my head, but I do not know why, and I don't understand this. Sometimes the first time I made money, that's the first thing that came in my head. I have power. I can do whatever I want. I'm invincible. There's no way I'm gonna lose this all. I feel good.
I
I
ain't
feel
putting
really
on no
good.
seatbelt today.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't sleep at night. I would watch the market from night all the way to the morning, sleep maybe 2 3 hours, and I was watching the market all day until night. And then I'd go out at night, right? And so I went, and I started going to these clubs, started doing, these things that I shouldn't be doing, and just blowing money, and then the next day make more money and then blow it, make money and blow it. Ooh, man! And at one point, right, my friends invited me to Vegas. I was young, I didn't know any better. I never had that much money in my life, and I ended up going to Vegas one time. And but first, it also started. I showed my brothers, right, and my cousins and my uncles, and how to trade. I didn't necessarily tell them what I had done, but I started telling them I was trading. My dad knew, my parents knew I was trading, but they didn't know what I did. You know, so my brothers and everyone would come over and they would watch me make about $7,000 in a day, sometimes nine, sometimes $14,000, and my brother would only make about $150, and it caught
That's
him so
me.
much too. Yeah, it caught him so much too. I was like, dang, because he would get bummed out. They'd get bummed out. They'd be like, dang, how'd you do that? I'm like, it's because I'm putting in more cash. I've been training. I've been training for some time now,
Mhm.
right? And then they're like, I was like, but you can get yourself an In-N-Out burger, right? And this kind of a
Yeah.
bully to everyone. I didn't, I didn't, that was
Hey,
on them. I was just here to help them. If they want to learn, they can learn. But it was all what's in it for me kind of mentality. I'm doing this for me. If they want to learn, they can learn. I'll do my best to teach them. Period. Right. So I started going out. A lot of people started coming in my life, right? Because I started being flashy and doing all these things
Hmm.
that
Yep.
you should not do. When you do that stuff, there's a lot of people that are gonna start coming back into your life, hitting you
Yep.
up. Friends from a long time ago telling
Hmm.
me like, "Hey, Danny, how you doing, bro? You gotta teach me this and that. Like,
yeah,
Hmm.
hey,
let's
big
go
head, how
out.
you doing?
Yeah, let's go get a hotel. Let's go to Vegas. Let's go on a trip." I was
Yep.
like, "Oh, and at that young age, I'm just like, let's do it. Let's do it all." I'm here to have fun. I'm here to spend time. I ended up going to I ended up going about Vegas. I went to Vegas. This was when it all just came down. It fell down on me hard, man. I will never ever ever forget this day. I ended up going to Vegas, and I made about that whole month. I had made about $130,000, and then in that trip, I had made about thirty
Nice.
thousand dollars. That was a good month, but all that money was gone that same week. Gone, disappeared,
Sheesh.
and I got desperate. And bank zero. I didn't have anything no more. It was all gone when I came back.
Man, all at Vegas. Wow.
That's a lot down
Yep,
the drain,
yep,
man.
Boy,
yep.
you must have
And
had a hell of a
I
time,
get
boy.
home, I have no
Yeah.
more money. And the thing is, I didn't even lose it in the stock market, right? The first time I lost money was in the stock market was trying to. I had made my 100K and I put it in earnings. I tried to gamble it. Because in the
Oh,
stock market you can gamble too. You
Of course.
yeah.
you either take it serious or you gamble, right? And you know what the
Mhm.
Bible says about gambling. We got to stay away from those things. That's the enemy's trap, right? So the first time I lost 100K, I lost it in Netflix earnings. You guys can
Mm,
look back on it. It's on the charts. I put in 100K. I was trying to become a millionaire in a day. It all fell down for me. First time,
wow.
right? But I had something to lean on here. I was okay. I did it again, ran it up again. This time was not the stock market. This time it was Vegas. I lost everything. I came back home. And that's the thing. My grandpa, he had told me, don't go to Vegas. Don't go to Vegas. Listen, you don't
Yeah.
want to, he's a pastor. He's like,
Right.
don't do it. You're going to lose everything. God's going to take everything from you. They're very spiritual. My grandpa, my family's a very spiritual family. So they're
Nice.
like, it's
Mhm.
gonna happen. I'm like, nah, 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 nah. You guys always say that stuff, Leave me alone. I come back with nothing, and I have to keep a straight face. I have to smile, because I can't
It's that poker
find out
face.
anything. But I was sleep. Oh my gosh, man, this gets me really, because I remember those days I was sleeping all day. No more market, no more nothing, no more,
Yeah.
sleeping on a futon on the floor, anywhere I could sleep. I didn't want to. I wanted to just die. That's it. I just wanted to die. I didn't want to do nothing no more. You know, no one talked to me no more. I had no friends, no
Mm,
nothing. I had
yeah.
nothing. I lost
Yeah.
nothing. I can't tell my family because I pushed them away. I didn't hang out with them. Didn't hang out with anybody. And at night I was shaking, just shaking hard, and I remember just being in bed on my futon. I had a black futon, and I remember being in on that futon and just being like, you know what, I can't do this. I just want to quit. I have no girlfriend. I have nothing. I lost everything. My cars. I had to sell my cars. All my cars. I had bought an Audi. Had to sell it. I had to sell everything. To
Yeah.
just get money. You know
Wow.
and yeah, that's the first time I actually prayed to God. I was like, you know what, God, like, please give me one more chance. Like, I promise you, God, that this time I'm gonna be serious. I make a promise with you, like, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna go on your path. I'm gonna serve what my purpose really is. Like, I won't mess up this time. If you give me
Yeah.
everything back, like, I
Yeah.
promise you, like, let me start again. Let me get everything back, right? So I had sold my car, had about 6K. First day with $6,000, I make about $34,000,
Yeah.
right? And
Come
oh
on.
my, the feeling
Come on.
again. I go down. My cousin had stayed over, and I'm like, oh, I just made $34,000. I just made 34,000. He's like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. I was like, don't tell my grandpa. Don't tell anybody. And he's like, all right, you're good. First thing, I'm like, God, I am so sorry, because I'm getting tempted again. I
Yeah.
can't seem to
Now learn that
overcome
lesson.
this
Yeah.
situation. It's just like, Jesus, why? So I go out, and when I'm going out, I'm on my way to the club. I'm on my way to do my thing, and I'm on my way to do my thing. Can you guys hear that?
No, it's
I'm gonna
fine.
move
It's
You
very
fine.
good,
quick.
It's
man. You
fine though.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my way to the club, I get a call from my grandpa, and he's like, "Hey, God just told me, I'm praying for you, and God just told me, He said, don't tell Danny to not go wherever he's going." And I'm like,
Wow.
"Oh my God!"
Wow.
He said, "If you go, you're gonna lose it." He doesn't know nothing. He doesn't know where
Yeah.
I'm at. He doesn't know anything. It was just the perfect timing for him to
Yeah.
call me and tell me, "If you do it, you're gonna lose everything." And I'm like, geez, this could be a coincidence. Is this real? Is this fake? Does he know? And I'm like, okay, you promised me you don't know nothing about me right now. He's like, no, I promise you, I don't have peace right now. God really wanted me to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm praying in my room for you really hard. I'm like, okay, okay, thank you. I went anyway.
Yeah.
Next day, everything's gone again. Everything's gone again.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
So I go
Wow.
back home. I'm bummed out, depressed, again, depressed, and this is bad. And I pray to God again. God, please help me. I have $1,000. I need to do this again, right? God, please help me. God answers my prayers again from $1,029,000 on AMC. Again, I have about $30,000 in the bank. And this time I say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna maintain myself. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna keep going, right? And I got very impatient because when when I had a lot of money, 29K was kind of nothing, for me at that time. I needed more. I needed more. I needed more so I can go enjoy life. And enjoying life for me back then was going out and doing dumb stuff, right? So I make this money, and I get very impatient, and I try every way to try to flip it back to 100,000, and I can't seem to do it. I keep
To do
losing.
it.
I said, you know what? I don't even care anymore. I'm just gonna go to the club because I was stressed. So I kind of would use all these things to kind of relieve my stress and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna relieve my stress. I'm gonna go for a little bit, just have a little fun, and that's it. But that little fun turned into more and more and more and more and more and more until I'm destroyed again, right?
Mm,
And this last time that I got destroyed, that was the complete destruction. I went, I started getting anxiety attacks. I started getting, I started hearing, it's not that I started hearing things, but I got anxiety attacks, really bad anxiety attacks. Like at night, my heart would palpitate like this. I would start having nightmares, really bad dreams. I felt like the devil was really on top of me, like
yeah,
controlling my whole life. And I didn't like the way I was living no more. It made me really
yeah.
kind of just want to disappear because I
Right,
couldn't take the pressure anymore. I couldn't take the stuff that I was going through was really, 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 really hard. It was
right.
not something I could do, especially at a young age. It was something I had no friends. So, at that time, my mom, everyone was praying for me. They were, in their war room. They were all praying. They were all like, God, just if you gotta take everything away from this kid for him to learn, do that, but don't let this
Yeah,
kid go because this path leads to death. And that's what the Bible says,
hundred
this path
percent.
leads you to death.
Hey,
Right.
Maybe
hey,
not physically,
hey,
maybe not
that,
physical.
Danny, you dropping so much nuggets, man. I'm like, man,
Man.
like I'm trying to see how we can break this down, man. Because you just throwing so, man. First, I just wanted to say, man, like when you touch on your granddad, I said, man, what he's talking about is the importance of having a good elder in your corner, man. That is so big. Like a lot of people don't realize, man. Like sometimes when folks get old, our grandparents go old, like we just want to leave them in the corner and don't like want to say anything to them. But like, bro, they got all the knowledge and the wisdom. Like if we just sit down and talk to them for real, like we can learn so much. So I think what you said about what your when your granddad was calling you, like your granddad was your guardian angel, right? He's trying to kick
Oh
you
yeah.
back into your actual purpose of where you're supposed to be. And I want to kick it to the DTH if he has any questions. But you know, I feel like obviously, right? God had a bigger plan for you, right? But he just needed you to mature and well not mature but get yourself out of the mindset of just partying and everything and making an impact. I feel like that's essentially what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because even the people that I used to hang out with, I wouldn't actually hang out with people my age. I hang out with people around 30 to 4 years old. Whether it
Yeah,
was guys that age or women that age, I would hang out with older people all the time. So getting dragged by these older people, they're such a big influence. Because they're older. You're young,
yeah,
they're older. Hanging out with these people, it really influences. They have a lot of power over you, and you don't realize that until you don't
yeah,
have anything no more. So
exactly.
yeah, that's very true.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Danny, this is DTH, man. You obviously have a really amazing story. You got a lot of highs and lows. Seems like you garnered a lot of knowledge over this time. So, what I want to know is because there's a saying that every expert was once a beginner. So, with that being said, what are some of the things you would tell somebody who's just starting out trading and getting into that kind of stuff? What kind of nuggets could you give them just getting started?
Yeah, don't look at the money. Don't look at the money, man.
Yeah,
Money is really the root of all evil. It can be a
Preach.
blessing, or it could be something really bad. It could be one of two things, and
That's
and
right.
that's the main reason that traders fell. And this is what people don't understand. It's all psychological. Because the truth
Mhm.
is, I can teach any how to draw on their charts, how to read liquidity, how to spot institutional investing, how to do it all. I was able to do it all. I still do it all. But if your mind is not 100% in the game, because 90%, I believe 95% of trading is all psychological. Because if you're
Hmm.
focused on the money aspect, then you're gonna lose. Get ready to lose. Get ready to get burned. You know what I mean? Because when your mind is not 100% in the game, that's when you're not 100% in the game yourself. So something I would say is stop focusing on money. In fact, when I trade, at this point, it doesn't affect me anymore because I've just learned so much. But what I usually do is I take my profits off the screen. I turn it down, right? So I delete the profit screen and I just put on my trading screen and my charts. That's all I need to see. I don't need to see how much money I'm making a day. I don't want to see, because if I start seeing that, that's when I'm gonna start getting really greedy. I did it about a couple
Yeah.
days ago. I was up about $4,000 and I only made $1,500 because I wanted more and more and more.
More and
And that's
more.
what happens. Is
Yeah.
you always want more and more and more, and more of something is never too good.
Right.
So something that I would the best advice for me to someone starting out is forget the money. Okay, don't even focus on that. Don't worry about that. That shouldn't be your focus, because
Hey,
money is gonna destroy you.
that's awesome, man. Because I think a lot of people would think the opposite, right? Like I'm in this for the money. That's what I'm trying to do. So to hear you say that, I think that's really good insight, man.
Yeah, yeah, no, Danny, I'm gonna definitely chime in here, man. Levi Strauss here, man. Definitely glad to have you on. For one thing, I think you hit the nail on the head a little while ago when you talked about the psychology. Someone who's studied economics for 10 years now, and just now, getting into trading myself, I just I realize it's a lot of psychology. It's a lot of ups and downs. You got to realize like the good and the bad a lot in all this. And what I wanted to ask you was like, seeing that you are somebody who trades and all that, like how much you think trading has discovered you as a person? Like, do you think, like, I've heard a saying like you really learn who you are when it's just you and the charts, you know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
and just to real quick, like you talked about your mind, and when it circles back, to our walk with Christ. I love a verse in James, and it says, "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." And so it's like just talk about that real quick, like about your psychology and how that works. Like,
Yeah. So it has allowed me to discover myself even deeper, right? Because trading is like real life. And what I mean by that is like you realize that all the decisions you make, whether it's a small one or a big one, it all has an impact, right? So in my life, when I was messing up and doing wrong things, even the small decisions led to bigger bad decisions. The small good decisions led to bigger good decisions as well, right? So on my graphs, when I'm trading, the small decisions lead to better decisions if they're good, and if they're bad, then they'll lead to bad decisions. So, trading has also helped me manage my. I used to get angry. There were times, where I would stress out and I'd want to break my computer, or get mad at my computer. My computer didn't do anything, but just kind of being like, dang, because I used to look at the money aspect, and kind of when you're doing that, I was up about 6,000, 5,000. It was just never enough for me anymore, right? It never got to the point where $5,000, $6,000 a day was enough. I needed about 10 to 20,000, $30,000 for me to be happy, and be like, okay, that's a good day. And I think you have to, in your life, because in trading you have to treat your losses the same as your wins. And what I mean by that is, like, when you lose money, show no emotion, learn from it. What can you learn from this loss? What did you do wrong? How did you deal with it, right? And when you win, same thing. Don't get overexcited when you win, right? What can you do better still, even when you win, right? So that's kind of like the way I view things as well when it comes to trading and life, right? When we lose in life or do something wrong, what can we do better? We always have to try to be the best versions of ourselves, right? So
there you
and,
go.
and learn from our mistakes, right? Because if you don't learn from your mistakes and you just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again, well, you're never going to get better, right? The only way to get better is you make mistakes, because we're gonna make mistakes. I mean, who doesn't make mistakes, right? There's no such thing as a perfect human. So when we make a mistake, all we can do is get better. Me getting mad, that's just unhealthy for my health. me getting stressed is unhealthy for my health. So you have to learn how to manage your time, your stress, your anger, your emotions, just all that. Have self control, right? So I have learned how to have a lot of self control. So help having self control on the charts has helped me have self control in real life as well, right? Because I learned how to deal with. I feel like training is a lot harder than than real life. I don't know if that makes
In
sense,
many
but the
ways, no,
emotions
no,
in
Mhm.
it
trading,
does.
because it's money, right? You work
It's
for
you
that
against
money.
yourself.
You feel it times 100, you know. And
Hmm.
in real life, you go through something. Well, oh, okay, I'll get through this. But when there's money involved in anything, it's such a bigger deal, you know. And I think it's like that for a lot of people. So it's just kind of learning how to have self control in every aspect, you know, real life and trading.
So,
That's what's up.
Danny, why you on the boat living your best life? I had a question for you. I wanted to see like what was your best day you would say you have had trading, and how long did it take you to actually like start generating money, like significant money, on a consistent basis?
So
You
my
could
best
say a
day
percentage
was
if you want. You could say a percentage if you don't want to get a dollar amount
oh
out.
it's okay. It's about
Okay.
it's 70,000 above my first day. Seventy thousand
Nice.
dollars above for in one day. So in 2 days. So the first day, I even have this on my statements too. So I put in $900 into one. I trade supply and demand. It's a certain strategy, right? DocuSign had their earnings. DocuSign tanks. Wake up with 43,000. The next day, I make about $30,000, right? So $70,000 in 2 days, $43,000 in one single day, right? So
That's different.
and then
That's different.
yeah, oh, and then it took me about, so this is how I started trading. So the first time that I started trading, I made $300 my first day of, I never paper traded. In fact, I never even traded with fake money. I was
Wow.
always just,
YOLO.
I went straight
Never
in.
went demo.
I didn't study nothing, you know.
Wow.
I learned
Cold turkey.
simple support. You know, they told me use these indicators. If they cross, you go in the trade. I didn't listen to anybody. You know, I was like, I'm gonna learn this by myself. You know, I don't care what anybody says. You know, I'm gonna trade with
Okay.
real money. I'm not gonna paper trade. That's boring. You know, I'm gonna do it by myself. So the first day, I just buy
That's
calls.
boring.
You know, some random stocks. You know, I made $300, but I sold it, and I sold for negative my whole position. And I was like, what the heck is going on? It was the spreads. No one
Free
taught me about
margin
spreads.
call.
So then I had to learn about the spreads, you know? So my first day I lost. I lost money. Second day I lost money. Third day I make money. So, you know, about 3 months, 6 months later, I'm already consistently making about 300, 400 to $1,000 a day, right? And my losses, I limit them because once I saw me being red, ooh, I'm out quick, you know. There's no
Yes,
way.
sir.
But this is the thing. It's so crazy how, you know, at one point, you know, you're able to see 400. I was able to see 400 and be happy with $100 day, $100 day. But as you get better and better and better, though, you want more. You know, it's just
Yep.
that it's the flesh. You know,
Yep.
it's that greed. You know, and
Talk
that's
about
what
it.
destroys you, right? Because think about it this way: why can everyone that does paper trade does good? You know, there's no
Yep.
different from
Hmm.
paper trading from real trading. I mean, if you can do good paper trading, you obviously can do good real trading. You know, it's just the it's the emotions behind it, because this is real money, this is fake money. No one cares about fake money. They'll be able to, they don't care about losing it. There's no emotion. So what if you can transfer that, you know, those emotions, no non-emotions, right, into real trading? You'd be so successful, you know, and
100%.
and that's something that I've learned a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, before I kick it to Mike, like, I guess walk me through like what you're doing now. I know you have a Discord. I guess kind of walk us through it. I know you had a troublesome past before when you lost a lot of money, but kind of walk us through like what you're doing now.
So right now, you know, I'm actually in the current moment. I opened up Traders Evolve 2 months ago. So the reason that I opened up Traders Evolve, you know, I started doing good again in trading. You know, I was running it up, running it up. This time, my dad gave me the idea. He's like, "Why don't you start teaching people?" Just because I have too much time. So, I think I know in the Bible it says somewhere having too much time is could be a
Idle.
killer, right?
Yep. Yep.
Idle
Yeah,
hands is the devil
yeah.
workshop.
So I would just work about 1 hour in the morning, and then I was done with my day. Too much time, I would be doing nothing, and everyone's like, "Why don't you start teaching people?" I'm like, "That'd be a good idea." I was already helping this other group, but it was not good, So I kind of grabbed all the bad things from that everyone had, all the problems that I heard. So you hear a lot on social media. Oh, fake account, paper account, this and that. Everyone's fighting about. They want real results. They want to see proof of login, this and that, because there's a lot of fraud also in the trading world, right? There's a lot
Absolutely.
of fraudsters. So a lot of
Manipulation.
people fake it. A lot of people fake stuff. So me, I was like, okay, I gotta be ready to deal with the hate, right? 'Cause I know I'm gonna get haters, right? I gotta be able to log in live to my account, be able to show my account number, be able to show, and I can't care. And I said, okay, that's fine. So I looked at everything before starting this, and I asked myself, am I gonna be able to handle this? And I said, yeah, because I'm doing it for the people. So if I'm doing it for everybody, then I'll be good. So eventually, I opened Traders Evolve. A lot of Spanish members started coming in. So then I opened one in Spanish too. So I teach in both languages, Spanish and English. And it's
Awesome.
fun. I interact with everybody. So I opened up Traders Evolve. Been doing this now for 2-3 months. Traders Evolve, and I love teaching. It's a passion that I have. On the side, I'm also doing the insurance agent, right? So insurance agent, I'm doing it seasonal with family business. Whereas insurance, so basically just during October to December, I'm just enrolling seniors into Medicare plans. And there's a lot of money in that business too.
Oh yeah.
On this, yeah, a lot of money in that business, so and it's good money as well. So, and then on the other side, what I was looking into, next year I'll be looking into starting real estate as well. I was starting wholesale real estate, but I'm giving it some time as well right now because of the market. Well, being,
Yeah.
investing in the stock market, you kind of see the overall look in the whole market
Exactly.
in general,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
and real estate stocks are at the highest highs,
Oh yeah.
the
Yep.
highest points right now. They're just insane right now.
Right.
So I'm looking into that as well, and my hobbies as well. I like boxing. I do boxing on the side, and then
Nice.
I do the church stuff. So, my grandpa's church, they have a youth group. In fact, all my cousin is the youth pastor for the youth group, and my other cousins used to play. They play the instruments at the church, and then other people as well play the instruments. I used to play the piano for the church as well. Not anymore. But right now, all I do is just take pictures for the church, and I do like drone shoots, like the drone. So I drive my drone,
Mm.
and I
Okay.
take drone shots as well.
Yeah.
So I do that on the side, but that's just for
Man of
fun.
many hats.
Got
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, that's just for fun. But that's about it.
For fun.
For right now.
Yeah.
That's
Go
what's
ahead,
up,
Mike.
man. Yeah, the saying goes is you give a man a fish, he eats for one day, but if you teach a man to fish, he eats forever. So how do you encourage people to join a membership? Because a lot of people out there, this is a silent industry. There's a lot of people out there that's trading, but they're afraid. It's like a taboo because it has something to do with money. So how do you encourage people to join a mentorship to speed up the process of learning?
Well, here's the thing. I've been when it comes into training, because I know people say, "Oh, why do I have to pay? If you're so good, why do I have to pay to learn?" Right? But there's so many businesses, they're charging money, right?
Of
It's
course.
just the value of the education, right? And this is a secret that actually nobody knows this, right? But I'm just gonna leak it. There's a lot of members that have told me I can't afford. I'm gonna have to go, and I say it's all right, man. If you can't afford it, you can just stay this month. We'll see how you're doing next month. I don't have a problem with people. If people can't afford it and they want to learn and they're putting in time, and I see that they're putting in time, then I'll let them in for the month, and just see how they do. If someone can't afford something, then I remember when I couldn't afford stuff either, and I wanted
That's
help.
what's up. Yeah.
It's not. at the end of the day, it's not just all about the money. We got to help other people too. People are struggling.
100%.
When I didn't have money, I wanted to play Mentor $100. I didn't have the money to pay it. I always remember that day, and no one would help me, and it would make me really sad because I really wanted to learn, So when somebody tells me, and I know I'm only charging $50 a month for my membership, right? I'm not charging. You see other groups, they don't have half the stuff that I put up. I do this, I have a whole schedule the way I run my classes and everything, you know. I'm only charging $50 a month, but at the end of the day, if someone comes up to me and tells me, "Hey, I can't afford it," they don't ask me to come in for free, but they just tell me they can't afford it. I tell them, "Okay, you can stay this month. We'll catch up the next month." The way that I do it as well is a lot of people have questions, right? They ask me, "Hey, how does this work? How are you doing, this and that?" So what I do is I have my E-Trade tax returns, I have my TD tax returns, I have my live logins, I have my account numbers, I have everything already stacked because I
Proof
already
in the
know people are
pudding.
going to be asking for that, right? So I don't push it onto anyone. If someone wants to come, they could come learn, right? If they don't want to come, then they don't want to come, right? So
Exactly.
for me, I'm not trying to push it onto people.
Exactly.
If people ask me, hey, like I had this one guy, he said he had been in many groups. He asked me for all my documents. He asked me to take a video of me logging into my account. He asked me
Wow.
to show me my year to date. He
For
asked for
He wants the
$50?
everything.
receipt.
And I said, I did it all for him, right? And
Wow.
he's in the Discord. I think you got he's in the Discord. He always posts these long paragraphs, and
Mm.
yeah, he said that everybody else that he asked would block him. And but for me,
Yo, that's crazy. I mean,
uh, for
okay,
me,
you just
it's
different, man. Like we could tell,
yeah.
like you got a loving heart, man, and it kind of brings me to my next question. Like, where do you see yourself moving forward, right, in the next 5, 10 years?
Well, for me personally, this is my last goal, right? Is I want to be able to help not just people here, you know. I go in. I go down to all the time, you know, around the country, and I see other people around the world struggling with certain
Oh man,
things. So,
yeah,
me personally, I want to open up like a philanthropy, right, where I can help everybody around the world, not just people here in the U.S. trading wise, right, but help others with money, right, because helping others is the number one flex. That's the truth.
yes,
So
sir,
being able to help
Word.
others,
100%.
I like that.
that would be really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I
Danny,
want to do.
Last thing I
yeah, go ahead.
last thing I wanted to ask you real quick, Danny, is like, so how can people like be a part of the movement? Because I know you mentioned having the Discord and stuff, but like, where can they get in contact with you physically? Like, what would be the information so they can, hook up with you?
My Instagram, Danny's Trades. So I have my Instagram, Danny's Trades. I always respond to my DMs. I have a lot of DMs. I try to get back to all of them quick, right? But like I said, for everybody, if they want to talk to me on the phone, messages, I don't charge people for that. Anybody can talk to me. Anyone can get my number. There's no problem. There's no
Facts.
problem
Yeah,
with me.
yeah.
So
That's what's
anybody's
up,
free to
man.
talk to me. And ask me anything. You know,
Yes, sir.
I'm just a regular guy. Is what people don't. People gotta understand. I'm just a regular guy. That's it. I'm
Yeah.
no different. We all go through our own experiences in life,
There
right?
you go.
And we all learn from them. We all grow, right? So, I don't think I'm better than anybody else just because of what I'm doing. I'm just the same as everybody else.
He's
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
humble.
that's just how I.
that's
Yes,
real, man.
sir.
That's real.
That's just how I see
Hey,
it.
hey, Danny, man, we appreciate you so much for coming on the podcast and blessing us with your motivation and with your story, man. Man, we greatly appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate
Hey,
you guys.
man.
I
So
appreciate you guys for having me on here.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yes, sir. So, hey, so this is another edition to the Hold Your Point podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.